Christians, but he anga asiri Christian.
Okay.
He was never a Christian. And you know that?
No, I don't know.
Only his followers.
Those are the Christians. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
So all the people who go to church,
someone is greeting me on Facebook.
All right, that in this one's grace. Otherwise, I will talk to you and it remains with me.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, the one I
yeah. So that is the problem we have, that there are people we end up talking among ourselves, and the world doesn't know what we are saying.
Okay.
That's why Jesus says, if two or more gather in my name, my presence shall be felt. So if we gather in the name of C2C, all it stands for is converting what we are talking about as connections into a community.
Thank you.
And the community starts with two people who share a common interest. If what brings us together is Mukoma Masimba, then that's what brings us together. He is just the bridge. But the people who meet in his name have work to do, rather than say after we meet, we drag him there. Could he tell us what to do, when to do it? So you have known Mukoma Masimba. If you were asked to give 5 minutes or 2 minutes just of saying what person he is, what would you say in your own words?
Okay, can I say it in Shona?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Mukoma Masimba inini ndakazvimirira. Mukoma Masimba mwana uye akakurira muHarare akazobuda.
First you would start by introducing yourself.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for that.
And how long you have known him and in what context?
Okay. My name is Patricia Douglas. I'm Ghaniri. I know Mukoma Masimba from Keda TV. I don't know the year. Andichaziva makore, but ndinowaziva Mukoma Masimba Rido from Keda TV. Tichita majokes, tichita zvese, tichita inini naivo. Keda TV ndasikapinda ndati kumacomments, and ndikazovaziva vachitanga kupinda kwaMutumwa Mawere, wachibvunzwa mibvunzo kwaMutumwa Mawere. Ndandiriko ndichiteerera kumabhodhi pavo nekumaizaro avo, ningaipinda tichiita izaro navo, tichingoita vanenge vachingotiti madha. Ndo zvatinenge tichiita naMukoma Masimba. Iko zvinezvi Mukoma Masimba vari muchipatara. Kubva pavakatanga Mukoma Masimba ndozva kuti Mukoma Masimba vanoda kuti isusu vana veZimbabwe tizive kubvunza bvunzo nekubvunzwa nekupindura. Tikaziva izvozvo tatotanga kuziva. Kubva pandakaziva Mukoma Masimba chichagodhipa neizaro, ndakatanga kuchinja upenyu hwangu. Ndozvavakandibvisa musango, vakandidzidzisa kupinda mukuziva upenyu hwangu, kuti tikabvunzwa nemwana kuti good morning mama, handingomutarisa ndinoti good morning my daughter. And nanhasi vari muchipatara Mukoma Masimba tinovaziva. Vari Mukoma Masimba avarware. Vari kuda kutiita straight yavakataura. Vari kuda kutiita straight yavakataura. Any question?
All right, so you have known him and you have come to the conclusion that he is not sick. He is not a mental case. How did you arrive at that conclusion when there are so many people who are saying this man is sick, deserves to be out of sight?
Uri urwere hwandinotaura kumwana wangu Masimba ndewekuti vanhu vese tione kuti kunze uko ndiye mumiriri wedu watinoona ndiavata wedu ndiavata ndiuyo akafa musi uno pane mumwe akafa musi uno ndove kuNetflix kwatinoona whatever mamovie ndo movie yedu yatiri kuona zvinhu zvinoitika muupenyu hwedu hwese zvanoitika muupenyu hwangu ndozvirikutaurwa namukoma Masimba. Saka iko zvinezvi mukoma Masimba havari mwari havapenge but vari kutaura chokwadi chiri kuitika muupenyu hwemunhu nemunhu. Asi inini ndinenge ndiri singade kuzvitaura, ndiri mudhinayo, handisida kuzvitaura, ndiri kuzviwanza pasi pepilo but ndo chokwadi chiri kutaurwa namukoma Masimba chiri kuitika muupenyu. Ivo havari mwari, mukoma Masimba havari mwari but vari kuita movie yavo yebenzi.
So you're bought into the story that he is not sick, and you believe he is not sick, and you are not a medical health practitioner or a mental health practitioner.
No.
So what makes you go against the grain? Many people think he is sick.
Munhu ega ega patakaiswa munhu ega ega ndakazvimirira neni patakaiswa pasocial media patiri paTV yedu yatoda kushingirira kuenda TV
1873 and mati mamboziva here kuti 1873 inorevei?
Ndakaidzidziswa mai mwana hanzi inonzi +1 yakazoita seiko kazoti minus.
No, pane manumbers mangani? 1873. There are 4 numbers.
4 numbers. I know 4 numbers in TV. Kumberi.
No, 1 plus 8.
Ndakatombo 1 plus 8 is 9.
7 plus 3?
7 plus 3 is 10.
All right, and the difference between the two?
The difference to the two is 1 and 7, 1 and 9. I don't know.
No. 10 minus 9 is what?
Is 1.
Yeah, so it's a celebration of the
one person.
Of the person, whether you are sick, you are blind, and you are still a complete human being. So even if you lose your legs, you are still a complete human being until you die.
That's true.
And that's your life story. It's told by you only. Because the mind is you. Even if you set up a group, your mind will never be exported to the group.
Yeah.
You remain you. And when we go to your tombstone and we look at the 2 dates that are on the tombstone, there's the date of birth and date of death. And there's a hyphen that connects the 2 dates.
Okay.
Do you know the hyphen is a 1?
I don't know, you are telling me.
Yeah, hyphen E1 yakatenwa 180 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah. So that 1 means it's your life. But how many people would want to be part of your life when life itself cannot be outsourced? I can't transfer my hunger or my thirst to somebody else. I can't be dead while I'm alive. So that 1 ends on death. In between, I could be sick, I could be pregnant, I could be this, I could be blind. but it doesn't stop me from being who I am. And there's no genius in life. Because the one who created life already provided everything required to live it. My job only is to use my mind. That's why Mukoma Masimba says, go deeper, because he is showing you that with a phone, he can reach the world.
Go deeper. Thank you.
So that's where the deepness is. That when you say, I'm working on my dash, the dash is one. It means you are working on your life. We all may be experts at Mukoma Masimba, but he is the author of his own life.
Amen.
He can decide to end it. He can decide to celebrate it by being alive. But some people think they are experts at life, but they still die. History is full of great minds, great people, but they all had to work on their dash. When the departure ticket was given, there was no one who could resist it and say, my doctor says I must live 1 extra second, or my prophet has given me an extra hour. That we all are perishable. Yet in life, there are people who believe that they are more important than others. Yet we are all created equal and endowed by the Creator, not by us. The one who created a mango, an apple, and gave it many skins is the same person who created human beings. And there's nothing we can create without the person who wanted it to be created providing for it. I can't create a phone from my mind without the materials. So even great ideas have no expression without the Creator providing for that expression. So if that is all known, what then follows? Means, Patricia, you are just a human being who is there to learn every day. And the more you learn, the more you are limited in being an animal. The more you are limited in making arguments. When ignorance divides people, wisdom unites people. And you know what matters and how small you are. Yet some people have got ballooned minds. So that's what I've been criticized. Why are you hosting Mukoma Masimba? You are making more sick. Yet I have no means to make somebody mentally sick. I have no power to cause something to happen that the person who is the author of his own dash wants to happen. As long as you are alive, you can make choices. Whether they are good or bad, that's still your choice. If you decide to go to the river and decide not to drink, there is no way I can make you drink. So thank you for this conversation. If you have any questions, you can ask Patricia. Somebody says, Patricia, ko ida uzondi blocker. And magumbo chaurura. Chitova. Unblock me, ma'am, Patricia.
Ndichakubhuroka imami imi ndimakandibhuroka nekuti tanga tadhanana kundhanana pachimanyika ndikanana kumagemu epano pasocial media ekutamba kufacebook mama imimi ndiri muzukuru wangu nevazukuru vangu meseni ndiblokei ndi-unblokei handina zvimwe zvekubvunza but ndida kungotenda ndida kuudza vanhu pano ini ndakazvimirira kuti mutuma mawere ndakatanga kuwaziva more than 4 years ago ende ndinowateera ndichinzwa ende vakandidzidzisa kubvunza nekubvunza nekupindura ende ndinoziva Mukoma Masimba more than maybe 7 years vachitaura ndichitaura navo tichikurukura ndinoziva kubvunza nekupindura saka vanotombondidaidza pamanhingini ndichingoseka-seka saka pavakatanga nyaya yavo iyi ndakakuziva kuti aiwa kana ndichipindura ndotanga ndaona musoro wenyaya yekuti vari pagod pairi kana kuti izalo kana iri izalo tinenge kutamba chipindurana izalo ndo inokudzidzisa kuti unofanira kupindura nekupindurwa zvinobohwa nezvinokushota kana yapagodipa chakutaurira chokwadi chauda kufana chausingade kunzwa iwewe ndozvandakadzidza kuna mutumwa mawere ndakadzidziswa kunzi history yekunyika kwedu kuti kubva kumabhizinesi kuti unopomerwa mhosva sei unopindura mhosva yako sei yauri kupomerwa unozvimirira sei semunhu wenyama usina anokumiririra ndozvandakadzidza kuna mutumwa mawere. Thank you very much mutumwa mawere.
Okay, the Tembi says, so you are saying the doctors are mistaken in interning him in a psychiatry unit?
Inini ndakazvimirira inini ndinoti hongu nekuti iye ndiye ari kugadzira chinhu chake, iye Masimba ndiye ari kunyora bhuku rake, anogona mamuvi atinoona kuNetflix anenge ari muzvipatara, anenge ari mumasango, anenge ari makamboona vanhu I'm a celebrity, come correct me here whatever andika vanenge vari hatitomboziva kuti chinyama yeye yakudonha iri kubva nepapi chimbi dzati adzoona kuti kubva nekupi ndozviri kuita Mukoma Masimba handiti saka ndinoti avarware pamwe vari kutogadzira muvi yavo vachitaura nevanhu ivavo kuti chinhu chavo ichocho chibikike chinyatsonaka zvokuti kana ndapakurirwa nekuchidya inini ndakupakurirwa nekuchidya ndakazvimirira chanakirwa vanhu vangu ndakaudza kuti ichi chinotapira ichi ngatiteerei.
Then Amon Gap says the guy needs psychiatrist. That Mukoma Masimba does need medical help.
Ndiye mafungira ake iye, ndiwo mafungira ake iye. Inini ndikutaura mafungira angu kuti aiwa chinhu chavo chavari kubika. Saka ndichatambira chinhu chavo chavari kubika. Iye ndiwo mafungira ake.
And Patricia B. Douglas vachasura ndinopa mhosva coin master. I don't know who is that.
Ndini ndiri kutaurwa coin master mwana wangu coin master igame yataitamba vakandibhuroka ipapo tichitamba game tichibirana mumagarden ndezvekuti waraidza pfungwa takazorora zvedu mudzimba Mukoma Masimba vasipo nguva idzodzo.
All right, and then thru say wisdom unites people, foolishness divides people. What is your take?
Foolishness ichatotiparadza zvisho inondiparadza inini nekuti inini ndinongoona munhu ari kutaura comment section ndobva ndamaka mhinduro yake nekuti ataura zvakati ndo foolishness ndobva ndamumaka ndobva ndatadza kuwirirana naye but tikada kumunzwisisa kana kumuregerera nezvaataura tichaenda mberi nezvatiri kuita ngatitsigirei ukurebenzi.
All right, Eustace says ask Mason about metaphysics. I'm sure you level with you on that. Indeed, humans have powers to control other people's minds. Okay, there's an issue here. Your mind, in your own experience, has your mind ever been controlled by somebody else? Or your mind? Yeah.
Okay. Inini manje chirungu chacho chaataura ndachinzwa zvangu pano nepapo zvimwe zvacho zvese handakuzvinzwa. Mukoma Mason wachonaka vanogouya kuno kundidzidzisa iwo pachezvangu vondidzidzisa inononditaurira nekuti inini handina kumboenda ikoko but nekuziva Mukoma Masimba ndingoona kungoti izvi ndo zviri kuitika nekuziva mutumwa mawere nekuziva magumbo ndomuziva inge ataura ega pano ndingotaura ndakazvimirira nekuziva vanhu.
But do you have any experience of another human being being able to penetrate your mind, including your husband? Have you ever seen that experience where you stop thinking and someone thinks for you? And you decided to be on this show yourself. And you made a choice. When you got married, you married somebody that you could relate to, not somebody else, somebody imposed on you.
Okay, yes.
So your mind always makes choices. Whether you want to eat beef, you want salad, whatever you want, it comes from your mind.
Thank you very much. That this is a man inini sese ndakutaura pakutanga mutuma mawere ndinowaziva kubvira hameno kwavakatanga whatever tika ndaiteerera zvavanotaura kungoteera ndichinzwa vanenge vachaura nechirungu pamwe pacho neshora ndichinzwawo mabhii ndichibatanidza ndakangoita choice yangu yekuteerera zvavanotaura nekudzidza mavari havana kumbondituma kana kutaura anything. Masimba chai ndakamuteera kubva agotaura rubbish akutaura zvakanaka kuita sei ndikangomuteera magumbo chai anenge ari kukicheni kwake achibika zvinhu zvemukicheni make ndigomuteera ndakateera vanhu vakawanda.
So, but hapana munhu akakufosai even to be live in the UK. It is your choice.
It's my choice.
If you decided you want to go somewhere else, it will still be your choice.
And my choice, if I want to go to America or whatever, it's my choice. I can go anywhere I want.
So Mukoma Masimba is in a psychiatry unit because of force, or he chose to be there?
Semunhu ari kunyora bhuku rake ndakazvimirira inini ndisiteera bhuku raMukoma Masimba. Vakatoona kuti chapter inoika ndaenda mustriti ndagara mustriti ndaapano pastage. Saka stage iyi ndoda kuvaratidza kuti kozvizvi zvakuenda muchipatara. Akazviendesa muchipatara ari pamashopu paya akafonera akaita sei kusvika muchipatara. Akazviita ega nekuda semuvi yake bhuku rebenzi. Hatizive kusei kuti ari kuitei.
But from what you have seen so far, are there any lessons that you draw from what you have seen, or you think he is abusing your time and his time?
Ini ndakatodzidza nekuti inini wacho ndakanga nditori munhu anga ari mumatambudziko akafanana neake before saka tobhuya muno munyika mandiri. Handitya ndatodzidza ene ndikutodzidzisa vana vangu ende ndakadzidzisa kakawanda kuti pamwe zvimwe zvinhu zvikataurwa nyarara kana ukatukwa nyarara kana ukaitwa zvizvizvi nyarara vanondiziva nditoziva ndakanyarara zvakawanda through Mukoma Masimba.
So you are one of the persons who has learned something, like you can train somebody, but you can't be that person. You can't be a dog. You can't be a snake. You can train a snake, but you can never be a snake.
I can't.
You remain you.
But ndakadzinza kuna Mukoma Masimba kuti nyange uri parikupa vanenge vachienda kuchinwa doro kuchitwa everything. Handitya ndinokwanisa kuzvimirira. Ndotaura ndotokontrola vanhu ndinawo ivavo. Kana ndichida kupretenda ndinogona kupretenda kunge ndiri benzi.
All right.
Clip ke izvozvo ndakabatsira vanhu kumusha kwangu vachaona clip iyi. Kumusha kwangu ndakabatsira vanhu handichataura nhamba. Nekuti vanhu vakafungidzira kuti I'm positive. Sorry to say that. And ndichipretenda ende ndikapretenda kusvika nanhasi havatombozviziva kuti ndiri chii muupenyu hwangu, but ndakapretenda kuti ndive vave.
But you agree that life itself allows you to wear a mask and call yourself a doctor, a lawyer, a pilot when you're just a human being?
Handina kunyatsopanzwa ipapo zokorodza yechirungu
That life ne-experience yayo. Do you agree that pane vanhu vanoti ndiri doctor, ndiri lawyer, ndiri nurse, forgetting that they are just human beings first?
Exactly. Kwandinoshanda inini tese tiri vanhu, tinyangwe tikapfeka mamasks, tinyangwe tikasati tiri vanhu tese.
But how many people have you seen who take themselves seriously? Everywhere they wear a suit, tie, and they pretend they know everything. They know everybody. They call themselves professor when it's not a classroom.
Inini ndakatitori mumwe munhu wacho kuti ndikamire pamberi apo ndoiti ndichitopretenda kuti timovha mati but ndisiri mukati momwoyo wangu ndiri bhita kumhuri yangu.
Okay. Then Eustace says, current example, and was how you the singer R. Kelly in America.
Handina kupanzwa ipapo.
Munoziva how you sing anonzi R. Kelly.
Ndakangomunzwa
ari mujere. Some of his alleged crimes was to brainwash women to do his dirty fantasies. These women ended up pressing charges after years and years of struggling to move on after realizing how wrong it was from him, R. Kelly, to take advantage of their trust on him as their adorable superstar.
Zvinoitika izvozvo munhu unobvuma zvinoitika kakawanda nyangwe kumachechi nyangwe kupi zvinoitika zvati zvaakuda pandiri inini wacho chaizvo ndega pandakazvimirira kuti pandiri kuendapo ndiri kuzviona sei kana uri mudiki pamwe haungazvinzwisise
but do you agree that there is no brain that can be washed by another person?
Inini kwandiri pachezvangu inini ndinokumbidza kuzofunga kuti aiwa no, that's not it.
But you have to make the choice yourself.
Ndozoita mingiro yacho anza yacho ndozoita choice yacho napamberi.
Yeah, but I'm saying is to Eustace, please understand your example. Somebody can be alleged, like me. I'm alleged to have worsened Mukoma Masimba's alleged addiction to Facebook. I'm alleged to be entertaining him, not to follow advice. There are some people who are saying I'm part of the problem. Yet, Mukoma Masimba is not a dead man. He's a living soul. He makes his choice. And if he makes his choice to target you, Eustace, to say, I want to use you as a vehicle, as a bridge to provoke, ignite, inspire discussions around this issue of fragmentation of people who claim to be Zimbabwean. And these people are not united. They are divided, they are silos. Even on mental health, there's division. Some would say this, some would say that, some would even argue against me as Mukoma Masimba and say, what you are saying is a lie. When he says, I'm writing my book, I'm looking for my mother, I got a response to Corona, and I want Zimbabwe to be fixed. Some people would say, all that is hogwash. A friend today can be an enemy tomorrow, sometimes out of ignorance, out of misunderstanding. And people can change. You think you are married, you sleep on the same bed, but with different mindsets. And those mindsets may not meet just because you are sharing the same bedroom. Some would think the husband is the influencer. Some would think it is the wife who is an influencer. But the reality is that the two people remain two people, even in the same bed. They don't collapse into one mind to allow the other mind to find no expression. There are many people who thought they controlled, they can manipulate their wives, only to discover another man in their own bedroom. The human mind is so complex. It can never be controlled. But there are people who believe you can manipulate somebody, except if it's not them. I've never heard somebody say, who is happy that my mind was manipulated. There are many people, when they don't get what they're looking for, they would then have their own conclusion, including I was delusionary, I was in the medicine, but I was not there. I was just a driver, driving where we're going to rob somebody. But when you were going there, what was your state of mind? Did you think it was a picnic? The answer is no. So let us study, use Mukoma Masimba to study the true nature of mankind and how deceptive a human being can choose to be. He can tell you something that is not. I want to take your WhatsApp message. The husband says, no, why? Then he goes to the bathroom. Then I go through the WhatsApp message. I discover a completely different person than the one I'm staying with. The one I look up to. The one I say is my friend. How many times have you been surprised by human beings who tell you, I was at the weekend at a meeting, when they discover that they were actually next to you? So what is life? Where do we get lessons about life? Who is out there who is going to tell us what life is and what life is not? Who is an expert of it? Who knows what tomorrow brings to be able to manipulate you about the future they don't know? They walk on the same earth. 1 hour means the same hour. If you have not consumed it, you have no story about it. You only have a story about time that you have consumed. It's like a cigarette. It will end somewhere. But you are burning it every day. You are burning life every day. And each one of us is like a cigarette. I don't know whether you agree, Patricia.
I agree.
Okay, we're now joined by Tendency. Good afternoon. You had said a lot, so you can go through what you wanted to say or what you are saying.
Okay, so good afternoon, Mr. Mawere, and good afternoon to you, Patricia. So I posted to say Masimba did not choose to be where he is. He may have been influenced to think that he's not anywhere near to say such a choice is made by a person who is right mindfully. Mental health illness is real, and he has highlighted how we can be ignorant to the realities causing such problems. Let's build each other and use the skill sets we have acquired so we can better each other. Brotherhood. So what I'm trying to say there is that
okay.
when you look at the way we have been scattered around the world as Zimbabweans or as Africans or as Black people, there are a lot of influences politically, religiously, financially, because everybody's trying to survive. But surviving isn't enough. We're meant to be living life. Like you said, we are like cigarettes. We're supposed to live life with a health mindset so that we can make good decisions. Some of the decisions that we are now experiencing were made before we were even born. Some of the experiences we're going through right now were made before we even knew that we would be experiencing COVID-19 today. That's why you see a mask now becomes legal. If you don't have a mask, you end up having to pay a bill. But no one ever thought that a small thing like a mask can actually get you to go to prison. A small thing like a mask can actually help you um, avoid being in contact with the COVID-19 virus. What am I saying? I'm aware where we come from, we have different cultural beliefs, we have different traditional beliefs as well, and we have migrated mentally, we have matured mentally to this day. Tineva na ruzaro muna na diaspora vasinganzwise how things used to work before. Tineva na uti they've been exposed to a lot of stuff in the diaspora where they can't even handle. Why? Because it's too much for them. I live in the city, and the life in the city can be too much. And guess what I do? I have to get on the train and go outside and go somewhere. Why? To release, the pressure of the life I live in the city, and it's good to be part of the natural world. So I was hearing the lady on the phone on the other side, Taura, and thank you for your contribution, because this is what we need. We need people who can come with ideas, because we now know even your best friends can be jealous of you, even your family can be jealous of you, and they can make things even worse or better for their own benefit, and this is the problem. So we've seen Mukoma Masimba as a good example of someone who has gone through mental depression, not because of his family, not because of anything beyond what he has expressed. Panap, what he has gone through is it's now up to us to make the right choices, because we can give Masimba the best approach rather than questioning why is he crazy, why is this, and we because some of the comments we write or some of the things we say can drive his mind to do things that he doesn't deserve to do. So if we say we are the ones on Nifunga 5, I think we should get to a level of understanding and be respectful of life itself. If anybody right now is suffering the same way Masimba is suffering from, we should be running around and say, look, as men from Africa, as men of Black origin, what can we do to avoid such issues? Number one, we have platforms that we can actually talk about. One is your platform, Mama Were, and the other platforms where we talk about mental health in men. Because a lot of times men don't know how to talk, let alone how to deal with problems. We shut down, we become robotic, because society knows to just be a man, be a man, be a man. Yeah, that's not enough. Sometimes we have to express how we feel on the negative side. So kana mwana ari murume mukuru seni kana imi mukachema tonyarara here nekuti murume mukuru. You see, varungu chacha, they don't mind having a 50-year-old man crying in front of the TV or cry in front of everybody, because they know the importance of emotions. Whereas we as people, Black people, sometimes as Africans or as Zimbabweans, we are quite ignorant to the importance of paying attention to someone's feelings and emotions. And that attention, yes, of course, he deserves that attention. What type of attention does he deserve? Medical attention. We need to give him a platform where he can express how he feels. Masimba is quite intelligent. We've seen it. He's quite intelligent. He's quite there. And sometimes he actually reasons more and better than Vanaru, but outside the hospital. Where he is not a good place. My prayer really every day I'm aware is to see Masimba coming out strong and powerful enough to even be a testimony, write his book, whichever way he's doing it, and teach the younger generation. I deal with young people who have been exposed to drugs, who have been exposed to homelessness, who have been exposed to domestic violence because their parents don't get along. The mom is married somewhere, the father is married somewhere. Now the child is ostracized. Why? Because he knows or she knows that mom and dad are not getting along. How am I supposed to even challenge some of the behaviors to my mother or to my father, right? So they became rebellious. What do? They go and find people outside to talk to or to hang out, to feel comfortable. And within that circle, they find themselves introduced to either smoking drugs, or it could be a normal cigarette, but it's mixed with other things, or drinking. The next thing is it becomes a lifestyle. So let's highlight the importance of actually paying attention to some of the aggressive ideas or the aggressive choices made subconsciously, because we are losing a lot of good people without even paying attention. You know, that's why I said we are very much sometimes ignorant to these things, because we think but this is life. Like you said, I'm aware you know. So that's all I can say.
Let's go deeper now, Patricia. Do you see where you and Tenders don't agree?
Tenders anowanza zvake chirungu but ndechiteerera ndisinzwa one on one patumwe tunhu twacho, but ari right, pazhinji pacho ari right.
No, Arikuti Masimba didn't choose to be where he is. And you are saying Mukoma Masimba is competent to make the choice.
Mukoma Masimba vakachuza kuve kwavari.
So,
and kana wachuza, I'm sorry,
okay,
kana wachuza kuve kwaurika, unotedzera zviriko. Chanduda kutaura Tenders ruye art. Kana uchita movie, andika munhu akanyora movie, unotedzera zvaari kuda kuti zviitwe. Akati jamba, unofana kujamba, mutu uyu kana haijamba kana pa, unofana kuenda. Masimba ndiye muridzi wemovie rake, saka ndiye ari kuita zvinhu zvake. Saka kana azoenda muchipatara muye akanotaurira vanhu vaiva kuti Prisca, unofana kundituma ndifose izvi, ndiite zvakati, ndifone kana zviri izvo zvaari kuita. Ndakazvimirira inini kwete vamwe vanhu. Ari kuita zvaari kuda. Kana asina ndozoti akazvichuza kuzviendesa muchipatara. Kubva paakatanga kuenda kuchipatara. Anditika akachuza kuenda kuchipatara Tenders. Aenda muchipatara, ari kuita zvaari kuda inini kuti mwanhu isusu tizive, inini ndizive kuti kana tazoenda ikoko mangwana, mumomo makamira sei, tinofana kuita sei, tofana kureakta sei, tofana kudya here, tofana kugerwa here, achandigeresa ndiani, nditumire mari yacho ndigerwe. Anditika nemuno muchandaita kuya kuzodya. Alright, fodya icho toiona kuti tokupira wamwana.
So do we agree, Tenders, that Patricia has a different point?
Absolutely, it's okay. You know, for me, to be honest, I think everybody can have a different opinion based on what they know and what they understand, which is okay. And that's why you see,
it's not okay, Tenders, because some people are divided eye for an eye just for having two views about the same glass. One who says it's half empty, one who says it's half full, but it doesn't make both of them wrong.
No, it doesn't, because the thing is, I'm aware, you have to remember, when I saw what was happening in Mukoma Masimba, not everybody, 90% of people didn't agree with me. So so I'm okay with that, because I've already seen the pattern of what we think and what we know. Me, what I know is what I stand with. And Patricia is not wrong, because her understanding is based on what she has seen being exhibited in Masimba. What Masimba has done so far is something that people didn't see before I started talking to him. When he came online, when he came live to do the first live, people were like, dude, why are you wasting your time talking to Masimba? And I was like, you know what? I have to be very careful how I'm going to
so do you want Tenders to put this motion to the vote so that those who are watching can vote? The question is, do you think Mukoma Masimba is the author of the choices he's making, or you think it's beyond him? If you think he's the author, put Y. If you don't think he's the author, just type N so that we can...
Is it for us or for the comments?
For the comments.
Okay.
Because you've already given your positions.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right. And then MM akabhadhara mari yako here. I think it's a question maybe for 10 days. Does he owe you money?
No, he doesn't owe me money. I don't know. I don't understand that question.
All right. Okay. Then Mary Ndoro, chichemo chake nepekugara inga. Akataura wani. Did you hear that, Patricia, that he's looking for somewhere to stay?
Okay, ngaindipindure ataura iyeyo ndo bhuku rebenzi riri kutaura kuti ndikange ndaamuchipatara vari kutidzidzisa inini vari kundidzidzisa inini kana ndaamuchipatara ndaita upenzi hwangu ndaita urongwa hwangu hwandaita ihwohwo ndaenda muchipatara ndovauza kuti handisisiri kwajei handisiri kwangana handina pekugara saka kamandibudisa muno muchipatara ndichaendepi motondiudza ndopondopa pekugara saka ndatomunoka ndikutotipurana kuti vachondipa pekugara ndomutauriro ake iye Masimba.
Okay, and you believe him?
Ini ndinozvibhilivha nekuti zvinotoitika nyange kwandiri kuno kana usina hauna unongogara unomupuwa pekugara ibhuku rake rekuti atidzidzise tese inini including me atidzidzise kuti kana usinaka unongonyepera upenzi unyora bhuku rako ungopuwa pekugara wogara.
Did you attend his show yesterday? What did you watch his show yesterday?
Yanga ine musono kuti 101.
Yanga ichiti farewell, I'm going.
Dandiripo.
Did you? What was the show about?
Yanga ichita farewell kuti ndakubuda muno ndakuenda anditika.
Ndikuenda kupi? Where am I going?
Nakutaura. But zvandiri kuenda.
Akati ndakuenda ku-TV.
Ndakuenda ku-TV. Ndopandiri kuda kutaura. Pandakuenda ku-TV. Please, vari kuda kunditeera ungatiendei. Anditika $30 enyu. Iko zvino ndine 5 matickets. Vanodawo zvavo kuuya. Anditika.
Okay, so Imimi, are you? What is your response to his call?
Yekutv nini manjika dambudziko rakati ndokuti handina mari ndaitopindurwa ipapo handina mari but dai ndakahwina maquestions ndaingoti aiwa kaina handingatore nekuti inini ndiri kuno kumaeuropean ndotokwanisa kushanda ndozvitangira teketi rangu randakangofanana nerandiri kubhadhara munomu pamandiri kugara kuedzera license saka ndiri ngokuti dai akanga andipa kandaitopawo mumwe munhu ogopota achionawo mashow ekwamaawere aine tiketi rake remutero inini rangu ndichatenga handingatengerwe nebenzi remuchipatara.
Okay, so you are saying, I want to pay, I'm willing to pay, but
yes,
unable to pay.
I'm able to pay. When I have the money, I'm
no,
able
no,
to
that's
pay.
another question. That's another question. Willingness is one thing.
Willingness.
Ability
willingness.
is another.
I'm willing to pay my ticket, my license when I.
What you were saying yesterday, before he went to sleep, when he called me, he says, if a person finds 10 people who are willing to pay, then he gets a free.
Okay, taurai futi ipapo handina kupanzwa.
And the community attain vanhu who share the same thinking. Then the person who assembled on chain does not pay. He pays through the chain. No, he's not saying that. He's not saying that. He's saying that the person, let's build a community through multi-level marketing, so that if you know other people, because there are a lot of conversations that are taking place, and some people are saying, why should I pay? That Netflix, why should I pay? Why should I pay subscription for Netflix? There are other people who are saying, just to belong to this community so that we can have a structure in our discussions, so that we can have the media that we want, that unites us, not divides us. that goes deeper on issues so that we can get to have a shared understanding on whatever it is, whether it's marriage, whether it's interracial marriage, whether it's depression. Here we are just meeting accidentally. Some okay, go ahead.
Sorry, ndikuda kukukatai.
No problem.
Pavakatanga pandakatanga kunzwa ini ndakaona kuti radio iyi kaiga inokwanisa kundiita kuti nditi vana vangu vari muSouth Africa vari muCape Town neni ndi vana vangu vari munomu nevana vangu vari kuZimbabwe nevana vangu vari kuThailand nevana vangu vari kupya nditya ndabhadhara ivo ndiwati vabhadharewo popota tichipindawo pano tichingotaura kuti naimi saka iyo building isingapere kumusha iyo takutaura zvebuilding toita sei mati pamukana wedu we1 hour.
That's what I'm saying is we not because it's your church. Somebody says, why should I pay for the church?
Inini ndo mafungira angu andikukuudza kuti ndo chandakafungidzira kuti ndikabhadhara. Inini ndinokwanisa kuenda nevana vangu.
No, I'm saying you just said, do you want a place of worship?
Yes.
Or do you want to be under a tree when it rains on all of you?
Aiwa, inini kana ndapinda pachirumbi papa ndichaziva inini ndakutonduna inini andikwanise kupindura mubvunzo ndisati ndanzwisisa.
What I'm saying is the history of human civilization is seen as building institutions. Those who want rugby, they will build an association for people who love rugby. Those who like bowling, they'll build an association. But members pay so that there's green grass. Members pay so that there's structure. Then you get the best talent to express itself in an organized manner. We can talk about depression. We can build movies. We can have these reality shows. If Mukoma Masimba was a Kardashian, people will pay.
From 1 year to 10 years, we want them in your platform.
No.
Platform, we want them.
No, not in our platform, because we're all paying for the road.
Exactly one. Our platform.
Yeah.
Our TV. We want them in our TV.
That's right, but it can't be ours when we have nothing in it ourselves.
Exactly. That's why we are fighting. But let's build this together.
That's what Mukoma Masimba, I'm singing Amazing Grace. Yesterday, I was once blind, but now I can see that I have a lot of people who love me, but there's no structure. I don't even know who they are. All I see is an eye with 100 people, 300 people, but I don't know.
You don't know me, do you know me before?
I don't know you.
No.
But that's why but if you had not called and I had not called, how would I have known you?
No, that's true. If it's not Mukoma Masimba or you just started to tell us about how we live. Say,
Apana. But Lori Kure be saying, paying for what? And that starts from an idea which she, with Lori, is expressing boldly. Because according to her, I must not pay, even if it's government. I must not pay because it's not my government. It's not my highway. But why do you need a highway if it can be used by those who pay for it? If I have no car, I don't need a highway. But if I have a car, I only need the highway as a bridge to get where I want to get. If I want to climb the opportunity ladder to be somebody, I need other people. But someone would ask, why? Why pay for it? Animals don't pay for life. But there's no order, there's no refrigerator in the animal kingdom. Why store food? when you can find another? Pray tomorrow to eat. So, Lord, thank you very much for raising that question. Pay for what? Yeah, that's a typical question that destroys all of us. If somebody I respect, I love, says pay something, I know if I pay today, tomorrow I'm secure because of that. The people who left Europe to come and settle in colonies, they left with nothing, no return ticket. But that is what it is. They came, set up farmers' co-ops, build churches, synagogues, mosques, not because somebody needed a mosque or Prophet Muhammad gave them a phone call, instructed them to build a mosque. No. Or the chief rabbi says build a synagogue. Without the people who need a synagogue, where is our synagogue? Where is our temple? And who shall be there? And who do we look up to? You got my question in the wrong context, Lori. I'm not answering you. I'm just informing others because your question is a generic question. I don't want it to be authored by you only, but I want to congratulate you and celebrate you for saying it, for doing something about it. Say, let's talk about it. Other people want to talk in closets. I'm asking because I didn't understand. Thank you, Lori, just for that. That's why I'm going deeper on it. Not because I'm saying you are wrong. Don't misunderstand me. I know exactly what you are saying, and you are correct. You didn't see it, but he has been talking about C2C. He has been talking about doing something. If I love something, I will borrow, I will walk if I have to. I will crawl if I have to. I will take a wheelchair if I have to, because I know that I have to be at point B. I can't remain at point A complaining about what I'm going to do, because life allows us to have choices. But the more I defer it, the more nothing will happen. If the bus waits at the station for others to be ready, it will never leave the station, because the time will always be wrong for somebody. But what time is it? Masimba said, it is time now for me to get better. You be organized. And he sent a message late last night. And do you want to read that message? That is the last message I got from him. And he says, I'm surrendering my phone so that tomorrow is more secure. But I hope while I'm not here with you, I'm not going to have a live show today. I hope that you will do the right thing and make sure that whatever it is that I have to do, you are doing in my name, because it is me who is saying, I have seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I know if we are not organized, that's his message there. I think it's something like what precise lockdown. Thanks, Rasta. So do I need to come to and do my last shooting Ikoko studio already after lockdown, straight to studio, or set up hapana chisipo soon as travel yapo lockdown yakuti peraka yakuto peraka big string thing dine two ma studio. That is Rasta. Then great studio yava ready for TV kwa Rasta in Australia. For those in Australia who can access Rasta, Mr. M, I had a meeting with doctors. That was at 4:42 a.m. I offered them my phone for the next 24 hours, so I'll be back Monday noon. Let's see now how it goes. I said, great. That was this morning where he sent the message. So there's no other message I received other than what the psychiatrist was saying here. He's saying temporary treatment orders, advanced statements that are required by the patient. Mr. M, can you please help me with advanced statement? Would like to give the doctors tomorrow. I want my phone and my Facebook all the time. That was him asking me to say, I know that if you give me your wisdom, I will move further than I can on my own. I've been trying to talk to experts to tell me what I should say, who know my condition. But all the experts are saying I'm sick. But I know what I'm doing. And that was last night. Okay. I think that we may be having different opinions. Mental illness are about eating from the bin or living outside. There are different types and levels to it. I hope one day it will make sense more than what's being exhibited. You got my question in the wrong? Okay, that's fine. 10 days we're going to see the best of everything in terms of medical reports and treatments. And one love for my brother, Mukoma Masimba, will always be there for you. I pray you can be healed and come out sooner than later and enjoy your life. I should a brotherhood. So Mukoma Masimba, I said, let's get this TV on. 10 days, your voice on that is as important as Patricia's voice. Shall we postpone it? Shall we defer it? Should I don't want to sit here talking about the same thing over and over that I've been talking about for the last 4 years. Surely you can relieve me by being organized so that Patricia can host a Shona program like Studio 7 to talk in the vernacular. I'm talking to the world because almost 1 billion people speak English. And if we limit it to only Shona, it means even our children who don't speak, some of them are born outside the country, some of them don't speak Shona. What shall we say to them about language? Why did we not use language as an inclusion, as a bridge to a better understanding, as a bridge that we build ourselves, not walls around Shona, around Swahili, around German. If an Italian can leave Italy and learn English in America, it doesn't make him less Italian. Makes him a perfect human being, because the answers you look for don't come from tribes only. It comes from human beings. The talent is given to all of us without measure, without discrimination. And we must be able to step forward, use the best language that we can to secure a better life for us and those who come after us. And we'll look back on this day and say, where were you? What were you doing? Did you hear the call that I made through Mukoma Masimba? And what did you do? Some will say I did nothing because I couldn't afford it. But which settler came to Africa with a checkbook to solve problems? Which check did Jesus leave so that churches could be built? Prophet Muhammad, what did he leave so that the first synagogue, the first whatever the mosque could be built? You may discover he didn't leave anything, but it is up to the living to make choices. And when choices are made, that's a covenant that we, the people, shall build the temples that we want, shall build the TV that we want, shall build the radio that we want, because we are the people who make choices. So thank you. I hope I've explained it well. And do you have any last comments?
Me or attendance?
Your attendance is gone.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mutuma Mawere. Ndinokutendai zvikuru nekundiudzawo pano pashow ndichitaurawo nechiwanhu chedu chishona chandinodzidza ini chandinoziva pano nepapo ndichitaurawo nechirungu chandisinganzwisise. Ndinoda kukutendai. Remangwana musandikanganwe, mundidaizewo pese pamunema kungoita. Kwete zvekwamukoma Masimba chete, but zvese zvamuchaita.
All right.
Muredio yedu ndinonge ndiripo tichibatsirana, ndichitaura neshona yangu pandinenge ndisina kunzwisisa chingerengere mondidzikisira kuti aiwa tate zvakati. Ndo mashoko angu ekupedzisira.
And hopefully Masimba is very intelligent guy. Love you, Ruth Murungweni says so. That we are all intelligent, Ruth. But in life, that's why we are diverse and we celebrate diversity as a strength. But there comes a time that we as human beings, we are capable of building cities from ideas. That when somebody throws an idea and we rally around that idea will express itself in the things we do daily, not in the things that we threaten to do. It is not one man who changes the world. It is all of us. Because when we come together around a problem, there is no problem that is bigger than us. Because we have the power to change the present by the things we do in the present. And we live in the present tense. We don't live in the future. There's no one who can lead you to where they would not have been in the first place. If they've already been there, it's history. We live in the same time zone, in the same space. For any one of us to point a finger at somebody and say, it's your radio. What is radio without listeners? What is TV without viewers? How come animals don't have radio? How come animals don't have TV? We are the ones who convert the gifts of nature into things of value, into property. So when we convert the mind of Mukoma Masimba into a TV station that runs with its own legs, so that even if he's not there, there is Netflix, there is Afriflix, because we are the Africans who threaten to be Africans. But when it comes to showing up for being African, we are dodging, we are missing in action. And whose TV is it? It's not my TV. But it's we can choose to create the content we want. We can choose to learn so that wisdom, literacy becomes the only weapon that we have to move forward. Ignorance divides us. Ignorance makes us look at each other and say, you are sick. You ate shit and you must be shit. You drank urine and you must be urine. It is us who choose to say that. But if we are not there, if death occurs today of a person I don't know, does it become death? Because I don't know. And Patricia, does it become death if somebody loses life? You don't know. Patricia.
Yes, I'm still there.
Can I cheat death? What does death mean if somebody loses life that you don't know? No, I'm saying you don't know that there is a loss of life. How can it be death to you? I'm not asking Remweya, I'm saying you have no knowledge of it.
I have no knowledge, yes.
Yeah, when I don't have knowledge, I don't know. If Mukoma Masimba decided to write his book outside our eyes, how would we know? Who would care? Yeah? So his sickness he brought the sickness to our eyes. Is that sickness? No, he has brought himself to you, not you to him. How many people are willing to do the things he says, let's do it? And they're still talking about him, the person who has chosen to use his own phone. How many people are experts at his own choices? How many people know that a phone must be charged by battery? How does a homeless charge a phone? How can Benz come to you and you don't judge him by the content of his character? You judge him by what he tells you. But how many people think you are sick by saying that? That they know better what death is. They know better what life is. How many times have you discovered when you look for somebody, you hear he's been dead for the last 10 years? And you're a genius.
Yes.
So the creator of life never wanted us to know too much, even about death and life. He created your life so that those you choose to be in your community, when they die, you know they are dead. Because we are together. Today, we are together because Mukoma Masimba has chosen to put himself in the front. So that those at the back can introspect, can pause and think and reflect. What time is it? Is it a time for me to defer, to postpone? Who knows what life brings? Ruth says, I learned a lot from MM, and I'm still learning. Just that, Ruth, just to say that. How many people find those words expensive? Ready to learn. Hashtag ready to learn. I'm a soldier, hungry for knowledge. And for that cause, I think a better life lies ahead of me. Life of tolerance. Life of seeing the glass through so many lenses. So that those who don't see it as half full, allow those who see it as half empty. But together, we have the same eyes. We are looking at the same facts. But we can disagree without being disagreeable, without being prescriptive, that what I know to be right, must be right, ought to be right. That's because it's me, I'm an expert. Mukoma Masimba has been there, where others would do nothing to make tomorrow what it should be, what it ought to be, because tomorrow starts today. It doesn't start tomorrow. It starts with the choices we make. That choice to press the button start. And who would be sick enough to show you the reality of what it means to be in a mental institution? It takes somebody to think about, because everything starts with an idea. The train, bullet train, is an idea. Because it is only human beings who have the power to dream and work on their dreams. His dream right now, he sees a global enterprise, where they call it CNN, CNBC. He says, why can't Africans approach the world with their own creativity? If he came here with suit, tie, how many would follow him? Because in our minds, we are captains, we are generals. Imagine an army with everyone being a general. One of us must step forward. Not that he's a better general or he can't die, but we need structure, we need order. So yesterday when he said, Mr. Mawere, I want you to be in my farewell show. Do you know he spent some time, Patricia, waiting for me to come on?
Oh, I didn't know.
That's why he was there for almost 30 minutes saying nothing, playing music. And
he was playing music.
Yeah.
Nice music.
That's right. Meanwhile, he was asking me to come. How far? I said, I don't have a network where I am. But how many people knew that? To say, when I say to C2C, I look up to you. I said, when I'm dead, what are you going to say? That I'm waiting for Jesus? I'm not Jesus. Who are you waiting for? Except yourself. Get on with it. Don't tell people you're waiting for me. And God prevented me from being part of the show. And it was better for it. Because I didn't know what to say. I don't know what tomorrow brings. But Mukoma Masimba thinks I know. I ought to know. I don't have that intelligence to know what has not happened. What is his character? What is his properties? I have no idea. I have nothing except memories. I don't have lenses that see beyond the minute I'm talking. That's where it ends. And that's what I told him. Assume I'm dead. And just keep going. If you believe in a TV, just keep going. Don't wait for me. Don't wait for content. Create it as you go along. Like what you're doing, writing your book. That's television. Yet, after that, they were talking to Rasta. What is the show about? Surely do we need a show about something or about us? Let's talk about the difficult issues. Why are we disorganized, even with the technology to organize? Hello, Gary, long time. Why are we disorganized? Why is not the next step? Each day we are talking about the same person, the same issues, yet we are not moving forward. It starts with me and you. So it is me who is the address of thinking, not the group. It is me who has the next foot forward without knowing where I will land. So it is you, not me. You have to decide. Is there a website for C2C? Very good question, Laurie. You are the website. Let's create it together so that the website speaks the languages we want to be spoken. It has the colors of not Mawere. How on earth would I create a website? All we're saying, let's join quickly so that we begin to build our own temple, our own synagogue. If you have 10 Jews, a synagogue will be built. If you have 257 people in a WhatsApp group, one comes in, Patricia, the worst question I've had to deal with in my life. Somebody comes in a WhatsApp group. What is this group for? As if the group has a stomach, has appetite. Surely, you can't come into something where human beings are and not just introduce yourself and say, my name is Patricia B. Douglas. I'm married to a white person. And those people who are racist, who discover you're saying something because you are the Masimba that we're not talking about.
Yes.
Some people would say white people are devils. And yet they're human beings like you and me. They are thieves. Yet nothing comes out of thievery that you can inherit. How many of us divide each other out of ignorance? When we say we hold this truth to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Some people say, no, white people are created from a special womb. That's called a white womb. That's a first-class ticket to life. How nonsensical that is. Where shall we get wisdom if it's not from Patricia, if from all of us? If our children come here on air, some of them don't look like us. What shall we tell them? We tell them land is for black people. Yet some of us have children who are not so black. So what shall we do? Eustace Kayemba, 1000%, it happens all the time. Our minds are constantly at the mess of other people's intentions, good or bad. Mason has come up with something, and I'm saying, I've just said opposite. Shouldn't we celebrate that? That when Mason says something, there is another view. That Mason, your view could be blared by what you know. But open your mind. You may discover that nobody lives life at the mess of anybody. That we are all created equal. That we have life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. If you have to live life in the shadow of somebody, it means you have to give up more time to make that somebody living. There are mothers who have died the same minute the child is born. And that child creates wonders. And yet, Some people call him an orphan. History is full of people that no one can clone a human being. Even if you are the parent, you have a place, but it doesn't count what life brings. You have to leave your dash. You have to live, carry your own. Pull your own wagon. There is nobody. You are married, Patricia. Do you live at the mess of your husband?
No.
Maybe you can talk to that, because Mason seems to think our minds are constantly at the mess of other people's minds. Who knows what is in Patricia's mind except Patricia? Even you can't even process what you are holding. Your mind is a precious gift. It carries a lot. Better than a computer. And you can be a footballer, a netballer, tennis player. At the same time, you can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer. You can be whatever you want. But you have to want to be it. So that's Mason. But that's why I say, let's create a marketplace of ideas. Let's have a festival of ideas. Let's even have a battle of ideas. Let's have a rebellion of ideas. But as long as the same name is ideas, let us not play people. Let's use ideas to negotiate that which unites us, not divide us. That's why I'm saying C2C community. We have a community of individuals, but we don't have a community that sits on its own. And you say, where is the C2C website? Who is going to create? I will create mine. It will have Mawere times 100. Because it's my website. But imagine we're 100 people with a quilt of 100 patches and all united by one common thread. That makes us stronger.
I love that song.
Yeah. So that's what we have. We have the opportunity to create things that are bigger than us. Yet we are small-minded to create silos, boxes, where, like coffins, one body fits in. Is that the civilization we want? To be dead people in life? Or to be living people in life? People who make choices. Not pointing fingers. Anything that is not done is not done. Be the change of what you want to see. So, thank you. I don't know whether you have enjoyed the...
Me?
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Thank you very much, Mtuma Mawere. Thank you, Mr. Mtuma Mawere. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Let me see whether there's anyone who is who thinks. Okay. I see Signoro had promised to be a member. I don't know what has happened, but Mukoma Masimba was interested in Signoro being part of this community. And I don't know how far it has gone, but I will not talk to Signoro and leave it. Lori, I think it's good if you want a website, if you want to link to join, those who are interested in joining, you can put your hands up and say, I'm interested in joining, so that we can send you the link. Those who are interested, you just type yes, and then we can share. Those who are not interested, you are not forced to belong to something that you don't believe in. You have to be passionate about the idea, about community building, about building community power around problems. We all have problems. Imagine all of us who send money to Zimbabwe. We build this temple, the bridge that takes us to Zimbabwe. We'll be able to talk to the things that that we were talking about. This is what we have been talking about, and we need more people to see the future written in our own actions. There is nothing that will come out of itself. Tomorrow will be like today unless you put your personality in what today is, so that tomorrow it will be an opening balance. Whether it's fuel, whether it's banking. If you withdraw money today, you close an account with less amount in your bank balance, so that tomorrow if you add more money, a salary comes in, you refuel. So that's what life is. One day you'll have a closing balance. When you look back, you look at all these closing balance per day. What did I do with God's time? How did I use it? Did I use it for the purpose for which it was intended? Some may not be able to answer that question because they chose to sleep today, assuming that tomorrow when they wake up, things will change. Nothing changes out of itself. It is us who are the change that we are waiting for. Nobody will do it for you. Nobody will create a radio that has no content. Nobody will create a radio to talk exactly what you want to be said. Somebody says, Mawere, you talk too much, and we must cut you. I said, I'm actually not interested in talking, but doing. And that's just been my life. But if I don't do it, are you prepared to do it? Just to be here, to give up your time, so that you can provoke others, you can do what is right. Mr. Mawere, I think it's high time you start your political party. Hey, another. What have I said about political party, Patricia?
Political party.
I'm saying, why do people think that when you say C2C, it must be yours, not ours? What stops Teachman from being the change you want to be? If you want to be a parliamentarian, if you want to be the president, we should be fighting to build a community where any one of us can be a minister, can be a president. Why do I need to start something for myself when you know what is wrong? Teach me. Please teach me. We have your back. Why have my back when Jesus ran away with his back? Why have my back? Why do you need me to be relevant? If there's a problem in Zimbabwe that politics is not producing the results that you need, why not you be the change? Why not for the first time and say, guys, let us democratize the idea of what it means to be a president. Let's democratize so that no monster will come among us and say, I want to remain in government so that I can feed you, so that I can make government what it should be to you who owns it. Why do we have to go that? Mr. I'm happy MM is not here. That's progress. I'm not sure what is progress. I would have Denmark. I would like to have a country where Mr. MM can make the choices that he has to make. I am not him. Greetings to you. But the guys refused to do a move on Denmark because he was raising a lot of good issues yesterday. And I am grateful that you are on this platform. All I hope is one day you consider joining us so that you don't have to judge anybody. Let us hear your voice in your own way so that tomorrow we become better because you are who you say you are. Do you see the problem, Denmas? Nobody must tell another human being what they should do with their time, because doing so is killing the human spirit. Do you know what I discovered one time, Patricia?
Yeah.
There were guys who were in Tripoli who came from a country called Niger. They were in Tripoli on the way to Europe with no return ticket. They had worked so hard to leave their own mother countries or whatever. And somebody offered them money and travel to go back where they'd come from. They looked at each other and said, "What? Do you know what it has taken me to be here? To go to Europe, not to go reverse. I would rather be dead than go back where I've come from." You know how significant that was? So let's keep on moving forward, not backwards. But forward starts today with the choices we make today. When do you want me and Otter Ground? I don't want you, Denmas. You are you, I am me. But together we don't become one. We just become associated. We get to know each other. I don't know who you are. I don't know whether you're Temba, you are Denmas. I don't know. Step forward, be part of something that we can create. Mr. Kaseka, I hear you. I think Kaseka was saying something I didn't finish. That's the only way you can come back to Zimbabwe. Imagine somebody says, "I am outside Zimbabwe because I'm in exile." I never left. You know, Patricia, when I left Zimbabwe, I've never received a salary in Zimbabwe for the last 32 years. You know that?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, but many people think for me, they think they know me just because they see me on these Facebook Lives or wherever, or they've seen me on the newspapers. How many journalists cannot just tell it as it is? How many people would want me to think that I'm doing it because I want my companies back? I'm doing this because I want to go back to Zimbabwe. I'm using Masimba because I want to be popular. I want followers. You would definitely make it. Imagine somebody says, "You would definitely make it," which means he has already taken me. Even just asking me, "Mr. Mawere, how long have you been in South Africa?" I've been in South Africa for 25 years.
I know.
Yeah. But somebody saying this, if I wanted to be a political party, if I wanted to form I would have formed. I was elected in absentia. Then I hear in the news that Mawere is elected to be in a provincial structure. I said, but how do you elect someone who is not even a citizen of Zimbabwe? Who is not even a member of ZANU-PF? Can you imagine? Huh? You definitely, we need people like you. We need people like you. What about you, Teachman? You seem to be a graduate. Otherwise, you'll be letting us down. Who is there, the Jesus, who has to suffer? We all live life together. That's why I say, let's work together, Teachman, so that those who step forward, want to save us. They save us because we have educated ourselves. What is a government? What is a public office bearer? Because there are many public office bearers who behave as if they're little kings, little tyrants, little Mr. Know-it-all. They don't want to give anything. Some people will never accept losing. Some people will always have won. Even before the election, they win before the elections. But Teachman wants to tell me that being a politician is the best gift to humanity. Then Mawere is in exile. How do we cure this? I don't know. Munu ne munu ane mafungira ake pana but what we want is to get better and come out of hospital. Masimba said, go, I'm giving farewell to the old Masimba so that I come back the new Masimba. But we are saying, go back, we want you to get back at her. But we are not doing the things that excite him, inspires him, that we want proper radio, we want proper content. Then Denmark says, I mean your platform, don't be difficult, Mr. M. Can you imagine? That he's saying I'm being difficult by saying let's create our own highway. Patricia, have you ever heard that? He's arguing with me what I'm saying. That use me to be the change that you want to be. What books now or a unit did you study? What's your study? You sound impossible. Are you a humanist or socialist? What is that your study? I am not what I studied. I'm me. You're talking to me. Just get to know me. I'm not a book. I don't know what is yet to happen. I don't know what a humanist is. I don't know what a socialist is. I'm just a human being, incapable of being put in a box. Isn't it enough to respect me as a human being? Not respect me by the books that you think I must have read, by the university with teachers who had to see me through exams that they set and marked. Isn't it enough that they did their job? Isn't it enough that every day I'm learning things I never learned in school? Isn't it enough for me to tell you that I can't tell you who Mukoma Masimba is, what is in his state of mind? Even if you see me with him on the same show, I cannot pretend to know him because it's him. All I can do is respect what he thinks. And what I can't do, I can't do. Yesterday, he wanted me to be in a show. I couldn't. But I told him, carry on as if I'm not there. What level of education did you study? PhD of master's, something? What's your study? Is that just your? It's my mind. Judge me by what I say, not by the certificates I may give you. I never studied to be here. I am here. Where do you get your concept? I don't know. My mind has no script. I'm not reading a script, Denmark. What's the topic for today? That's exactly, Patricia, what pains me. Somebody comes in. What is the topic of today? What is your topic? When are we going to hear from you without us asking? Nobody asked me to be here. I was talking to Patricia. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did we plan to have this show?
No.
And so far, we have covered many things. Shouldn't we allow life to be random, Andrew?
Yes, because we didn't plan anything.
Yeah, you can testify. You can tell them. You can tell them they don't believe me.
No, they don't. They think we start from somewhere.
And that's the whole reason why we are saying let's be more organized so that we have the shows that we need. So that Andrew will never ask that question again. Hey, what are you doing? What is for today? What is the meal for today? You are, is the Holy Spirit leading? Okay. So I think you can't discuss something without a beginning or an ending. You are not an animal. I don't know. I didn't even plan to have a start. And this thing was, the facts are that I was talking to Patricia on I'm still talking to her on the WhatsApp. And she didn't even know that I'd put her on because I was going to repeat it on my own. I wouldn't remember what we discussed. So I said it would be unfair for me to continue talking with her. And I will repeat again so that we stop, so that those who take the video, they can record it 1,000 years from now. Other people will listen to this voice and make their own choices about what I'm saying. Is the only spirit leading. Ndokupenga ikoko kwairo kutoita. My 10 cents. You are educated. What's your education? And what's your selling of education? Be truthful. I don't know whether I came here to be interrogated about my education. What if I'm not educated? Then what is the problem? How many people are educated but are illiterate? How many people got certificates, which mean nothing because they don't solve any problems or create problems? Do you need education to have common sense, reason, and logic? If what I'm saying you don't give credit to me, then we got a problem. Just see me for what I am. Don't see me for the certificates. There are many people without certificates. Why can't you answer a simple question? Why can't you just stop it? We're dominating a conversation about something that has nothing to do. I'm not looking for a job from you, for you to ask me what my education is. If you don't subscribe to what I'm saying, it's fine. I don't have to be qualified to be educated for you to listen to me. But those who are listening, allow them to learn to ask questions that deal with the issues that bring us here. We said, let's talk about C2C so that we build a better understanding of why we need each other and why we need to sharpen our perspectives, shift our paradigms, so that together we can build the kind of outcomes that we think save us. If it's government, we bring people who are accountable because we create them. But this business of putting qualifications before service, I am serving you. Judge me for what I'm saying, not for where it came from. Once it comes out of my mouth, respect it's me. Because there are many people who have learned who can't remember what they've learned. We have nothing to share. We'll be shying away. To say I'm not a public person. What is in for today? What is the show for today? Mason says education is not a measure of intelligence. Education is not a measure of intelligence. Education are two different things. Problem in Zimbabwe, we tend to prioritize certificates over gnosis. Mason, we always differ on one point only. Problem in Zimbabwe is we are not in Zimbabwe. Allow the people in Zimbabwe to say it. Just say me as Mason, you are enough. If you believe that knowledge is not produced in a factory, that learning does not end in the four corners of a classroom, just say so. Let's unite on the basis of common sense, logic, and reason. Maswera say, Mili, thank you. What is your view, Millie, on C2C? That's what we want. And then Denmark says you can't do critical analysis with some education. You are educated, somehow answer the basics. You are educated and you exploit on indicated and feeble-minded. You have to say what level of are you discussing your topics. I don't know what level you are. So why should you ask me? I think there's no reason to ask me, and I have not asked anyone what education they have. We're here on an open platform, but you are now putting the open platform to be a classroom where somebody has to be educated, has to be a teacher. I'm just talking so that I provoke others to be part of this building community power, not because I believe that in a community there are educated people, there are people who may not have certificates, but they're still people. There are people who never went to school, but they're not begging for life. It's gifts. So who am I to start talking about education? I've seen a lot of things in my life. And I've seen people who are educated who are profoundly ignorant. You critique everything, you that. I have to provoke. I'm not critiquing. I can't critique because I'm too small to be a critic. And the world is bigger than me. With Patricia, we just discussed what is the meaning of death. I think we all agreed, Patricia, that death is not what it is to everybody. But for a person I know, the loss of life is real. It's not academic. But I don't have the benefit of knowing every death that takes place. I don't have the mechanism to know everything. So I can't critique everything. But all I can do is share my mind, share my perspective. You may not like it, but take it as mine. If I'm doing it unconsciously, then I'm an idiot. Then must I admit I'm an idiot because I don't know much. What I know is not enough to represent the reality that is life. So I don't, if someone tells me it's raining in Cape Town, I wouldn't know. And I can't even comment. If you step on someone's toe in Durban, I wouldn't know. I just have to accept yourself. If she says you have eaten shit, I don't know. I can't argue with you. That's what you have. It's good for you. It's good for you. Who am I? There are people who eat donkeys. There are people who eat monkeys. There are people who eat dogs. There are people who eat snakes. Just for me, I won't eat them. So let me leave Denmark to talk to himself because it is futile to talk to somebody who wants a bilateral. I am trying to avoid the bilateral issue where it tends to what do you know, where did you know it from? And people ask you to qualify yourself in an open discussion. I don't know, Patricia, do you understand what I'm saying? So what is your comment?
Iko zvinezvi kuti tirambe tichipindurana naDenmark mafungiro ake kau didi Masimba inini kuti tirambe tichizwisisa zvaanoedza kusanangura ngatingomusiya ataure mafungiro ake iye ikodzero dzake dzekufunga mafungiro ake.
I think so. Let him because you can't stop. You can't be.
Yes,
and I can't read minds. I don't have the time or the effort or the wisdom to know what another mind is thinking. Yeah. So that those who want to. Yeah. Yeah, because it's not the first time. It's just he's not talking about what we're here for. He wants to talk about the person. He wants to play me rather than play why we are here.
Zvatiri kutaura panapa saka kuti tirambe tichitsauka kuenda iko kuti ndenda kutotsauka.
Then Kudzi says, inyaya yei. Kana wangopinda mubhasi unobvunza here kuti inyaya yei iwapinda uenda forward. Use the don't you use the front the windscreen to see what you can't see? Do you use the rear view mirror to move forward? If you go into a WhatsApp group, group why don't you start from there and keep going? So, Kuzi, I don't know, who do you want to answer? To go back and sacrifice every other one's time so that we can bring you up to speed? You can listen to the video. That's why the and Mawere, you say you want to have an open discussion, but you won't even say what's up for discussion, so we can contribute. I'm sorry, Andrew. We are talking about C2C. I thought, I'm sorry, on Facebook, it should say what we are discussing. So that should be part of the deliverables. Let me just check on my Facebook whether it says anything. Does it say anything on your side, Patricia? Does it say what the topic is? Yeah.
On my Facebook.
Yeah. Does
on
it?
My Facebook.
Yeah.
It says why community, why me?
Yeah, but Andrew says, Mawere, you say you want to have an open discussion, but you won't even say what's up for. But it's there on the Facebook page. Yeah, but he just wants to, Andrew. Yeah. I'm not saying that's what, why me, why community, that's what is there. Togona kungotanga kutaura zvebhora yedu. I don't know. So I don't know whether Andrew is watching or whether it's is watching on Facebook. It will appear that Andrew is watching. Yeah. Yeah. So that's all. If you, Andrew, you have not seen it. Okay, so
why community, why me?
yeah,
Andrew, why community, why me?
yeah,
Why community, question mark, why me, question mark?
that's the two issues.
Mm.
So I don't know what else I can say. Yeah. So it's for you to answer, not for me to answer. And anyone who is watching can also add their view, their insights into why community, why me. All right. Anything on that topic which is there? Perhaps we were answering questions and that ended up making people lose focus. So Andrew says, okay, I now see it. So in future, let's also learn from Andrew. When you come to any conversation, see what the title is and see what you can contribute. And maybe Andrew can give us your wisdom. Why community? Why me? Do we need a community or we need individuals? Do we need to be organized or we don't have to be organized? What is your take, Andrew? And Patricia is here. She has been following Mukoma Masimba for some time. She has also been following me. And that's where we are. So if you believe that you have a different take on community building, should we continue just to talk? Or we need to be more organized so that we have content that speaks to all of us? So we, instead of locking ourselves in WhatsApp groups, how can we use the open World Wide Web to be able to be the vehicle to communicate ideas? Because we all don't have answers, but we can provoke ourselves to think about a problem. If it's a problem that we can share, then we can negotiate ourselves what the outcome should be. So it's not my problem, it's not your problem, it's our problem. If the sewage is not working, the smell doesn't discriminate. And if you have to think about whatever you think about community, that's your prerogative. Share. It has nothing to do. All I'm saying is I don't have the answers. I don't even know what a community looks like. But there are some people who are part of communities, who are part of, like doctors, they belong to association. What is an association? It's a community of doctors. They write their own rules. They elect their own office bearers. Some set up political institutions, and it becomes their vehicle for accessing public power for their individuals, for the members. So any contribution on that community building, because what I see from Denmark, that's my point. What's the concept of community? Who is you? I don't have to be anybody, but you are here. Why do you have to ask who is who? Who is you? I'm already here. Then can we contribute, find the competent contributors than mercenaries to a topic? Building community is good as long as you have a common goal you want to achieve or deal with. Yeah, give us what are the common goals that you think should be achieved. And for this, what should be the common bond? You don't ask as long, because people will say, it's good to go to heaven, but it's good to get a better job, but then you go to school, still you don't get a better job. What is it that is required? So I don't know how the mindset, Andrew, can be put in some different mold instead of, if it's good, then what are you prepared to do to realize it? Why you? What can you add? Answer the question. What should be the common goal? Who do you want to answer that? Your answer may be different from mine, but by all means, it must be your answer. Who is stopping you from contributing except to say whatever somebody says is wrong, whatever I say is correct, but nothing gets done. So Andrew, if you have the goals, the objectives, if you believe it's important to have a community, then be the voice of what you want to see, and let's negotiate from there. Then ask me to give you the answers, give you the platform, give you the answers. Or somebody says, no, we'll beg you, because we know you're doing it to become a president of some other country, I don't know. So whatever I'm saying, it's seen a different, suspiciously, superstitiously. Just because someone thinks everything you do must be driven by a motive. If you are going to criticize the government for corruption, then somebody has paid you. You can't think on your own. So that's the challenge that I see confronting many people. So, okay, any other question? So let's wind up and move on. Yeah. So, Patricia, are you happy with today?
I'm happy. Ndadzidza zvakawanda. Haiwa ndadzidza. Ndinoda kuti ndaizvokwadi ndadzidza.
Would you consider joining the association, the C2C?
Ndaitoda kubva kare kubva payakatanga ichingotaurwa paindaida tojoina, but kungoti zvinenge zvichingotaurwa zvinzi ngatiende ndaitonzwa Masimba vachititsigira ya. Ndakanzwa zvekujoina, ndakanzwa Masimba vachinga about 3 years ago. Vachiti ngatijoinei, ngatiende kuno munharaunda, ngatiende kunodzidza. Ivo vachidzidzawo muchibvunzana mibvunzo. But handina kuzowana mukana wekuti ndibvunze kuti tinojoina sei, ndochikwadi changu chandoda kutaura.
Okay, we send you a link, and then let's move from talking to becoming members, so that we can then organize ourselves. Those who want to study deeper the questions of mental health, they can do so, and then we can have experts in our community who give advice and who give direction. All right, no problem. Let's build this together, and let's. And if you want change, you have to be the change. And if you want darkness, you have to be darkness. If you want light, you have to be the shining star. So there is nobody you are waiting for. There's no community that can be built without you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr.